City Council. We're here at 100 State Street, Beloit, Wisconsin, in the City Hall Forum, and today is Monday, July 7th, 2014. Can I get a roll call?
Roll call shows all councilors present.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3 is special orders of the day and announcements. 3A.
A proclamation recognizing July as Parks and Recreation Month.
Vice President Haynes.
Thank you. City of Beloit, Wisconsin official proclamation. Whereas parks and recreation programs are an integral part of communities throughout this country, including here in Beloit, Wisconsin. And whereas our parks and recreation are vitally important to establishing and maintaining the quality of life in our communities, ensuring the health of all citizens and contributing to the economic and environmental well-beings of a community and a region. And whereas parks and recreation programs build healthy, active communities that aid in the prevention of chronic diseases, provide therapeutic recreational services for those who are mentally ill or physically disabled, and also improve mental and emotional health for all citizens. And whereas parks and recreation programs increase a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, and attraction and retention of business and crime reduction. And whereas parks and recreation areas are fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community. And whereas parks and natural recreation areas improve water quality, protect groundwater, prevent flooding, improve the quality of the air we breathe, provide vegetative buffers to development, and produce habitat for wildlife. And whereas our parks and recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. And whereas the House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month. And whereas the City of Beloit, Wisconsin recognizes the benefits derived from parks and recreation resources. Now, therefore, the Beloit City Council and the President of the Beloit City Council does hereby recognize July as Parks and Recreation Month in the City of Beloit, adopted this 7th day of July, 2014. Mark Spreitzer, President.
Mr. Spreitzer, I thank you and the council very, very much for this proclamation today. We do have a PowerPoint that we'll be doing later tonight, so we'll save our comments for that point in time. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4 is public hearings. 4A.
A public hearing to solicit input on the community development, housing, and homeless needs in the city for inclusion in the 2015 Annual Action Plan.
Ms. Christensen.
The city is in the process of preparing the 2015 to 19 Consolidated Plan, which is the 5-year strategic plan for the use of CDBG funds. And as part of that, we'll also be doing the 2015 Annual Action Plan. And what HUD requires is for the city to hold 2 public hearings, one at the kind of the beginning stages of the plan to solicit input on housing, homeless, community development, and public housing needs. And then a second public hearing gets held during the budget workshop, but during the budget process to actually look specifically at the CDBG funds. And you also have an opportunity to comment on the annual action plan at that time. At this point in the process for the consolidated plan, there's been 3 steering committee meetings held. They had 1 meeting on housing and homelessness, 2nd meeting on non-homeless special needs, and a 3rd on community and economic development needs. So a variety of needs have already been identified by the agencies through that process. But this is the night scheduled to actually solicit input, not just from the agencies, but also from the public in general on those needs. And you will not take any action tonight, just listen to the public if anyone comes to present needs.
At this time, I'll open the public hearing on item 4A. If there's anyone wishing to speak on item 4A, please approach the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. Jean Randalls, Executive Director of HealthNet of Rock County, 23 West Milwaukee Street, Janesville, Wisconsin. HealthNet of Rock County is the only free clinic in Rock County providing services to Rock County residents who are low income and completely uninsured. To HealthNet, low income is defined at 185% or lower the federal poverty level. For a family of 4, that's approximately $41,000 annually. HealthNet provides medical, dental, and vision services. The medical services include complete physical exams, treatment for acute and chronic health conditions, lab work, x-rays, specialty consults, medical health care, which includes counseling and referrals, pediatric treatment, and medications. Last fiscal year, we dispensed over $3 million worth of medications to Rock County residents in need. The dental clinic, those services include cleanings, treatment plans, x-rays, fillings, fluoride and treatment and sealant treatments, extractions, and root canals. Last fiscal year, we provided services valuing $202,000 to Rock County residents. Our vision services include eye exams and glasses, and per our audit, 97% of every dollar we receive goes back to patient services. Last fiscal year, HealthNet provided 7,175 patient visits. Of those, 25%, or 1,802 individuals reside in Beloit. Beloit and residents are in need of medical, dental, and vision services. I ask that funds be considered as a priority for special needs through the CDBG grants. I ask this so that together we can help Beloit residents receive free health, dental, vision, and medical services, and medication, and included with that, health education, so that they can adopt or maintain a healthier lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak during the public hearing on item 4A? Please approach the podium now.
My name is Matt Finnegan. I live at 2212 Knowlview Drive in Beloit. I just would like people to maybe try to consider as you go through this process, doing whatever you can to help with increasing of home ownership in Beloit. Maybe even looking at some non-traditional ways of helping people to buy homes. I currently have over 80 contracts going in Beloit, and I use a financial literacy class to help ensure the effectiveness of this, and I've learned that the hard way by not starting out doing it that way. And but what I've learned is that, and especially in today's economy out here, it is really tough for people to get loans at the banks. I know that some of the city rehab projects have been sitting out there for years and years. I know there's a lot of strings attached on the way that HUD allows the city to dispose of or to get those properties into homeowners' hands. But if there's any way to possibly do it that way, even a possible contract between the city and some people in the community that could afford it. I recently tried to sell a house, 1300 block of Grant Street, and it's supposed to be right in the sweet spot, 79.9, 4-bedroom house, beautiful condition. I had over 50 people come through that property, and people couldn't get the loans. I ended up doing it the way I do it. One thing I've done is I've shortened the terms. I've got them down to 15-year terms. It won't go anything longer than 20. It's just. And I show them why, the interest saved and that kind of thing. And I guess what I'm saying is if there's some way to dispose of these properties sitting out here doing nothing, are just, more money we're pouring out, mowing them, whatever. And if there's some way that we can tweak and get HUD to go along with some ideas such as that to get homeowners in those properties, I think it'd be fantastic. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak during the public hearing on item 4A? Please approach the podium. Second call for anyone else wishing to speak on item 4A. Third and final call for anyone wishing to speak on item 4A. If not, I'll close the public hearing. Item 5 is citizens' participation. We have reached the point in the meeting for members of the public to speak to the council about issues that are coming before us or may come before us in the future. The council will not act on any requests this evening unless the item you are speaking about is already on our agenda, but we may act on requests at a future meeting, or we may refer a speaker to staff for assistance. We ask that you hold your comments to 3 minutes or less and avoid making personal attacks. Is there anyone wishing to speak during citizens' participation? Please approach the podium. Second call for anyone wishing to speak during citizens' participation. Third and final call for anyone wishing to speak during citizens' participation. If not, I'll close citizens' participation and we'll move on to item 6, the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda. Is there any council member wishing to remove an item from the consent agenda? Councilor DeForest.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to request that item 6C be removed.
Are there any other councilors wishing to remove an item from the consent agenda? If not, the consent agenda consists of items 6A and B. Is there a motion to approve? There's moved by Lupke, second by Kincaid. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? This is approved 7-0. Item 6C.
An application for a zoning map amendment to change the zoning district classification from R2 two-family residential district to R3 low-density multifamily residential district for the property located at 1715 Elmwood Avenue. This is a referral to the Plan Commission.
Ms. Christensen.
Did you have a question, or did you want to hear a presentation?
Sure, I can just ask my question. I see this is a refer to plan. I wanted to ask when this comes back to us, I'd like some more information about how this zoning request is different from one that we've seen before that we voted down to change.
You didn't vote this one down. This is a different property to the north, or to the south of that. So this
Okay.
piece of land is actually sitting right on Elmwood. And the last action the council took was to rezone it to R2. He has never requested an R3 zoning.
Okay. So in relation to the previous property, how close is it in proximity to the one that we explored rezoning before?
It is immediately south of there were two applications that came before you. One was withdrawn and one you denied. So it's adjacent to the one that was withdrawn. So there's Havenwood Point, and then there's a property you denied, and then there's a property where they withdrew it, and then that's right below that.
Okay.
I don't know, do I have a map in here? I probably do. So the one you denied was right here,
Okay.
where there's looks like a body of water, because there's stormwater detention there.
Right.
And there's a condo building. That's the piece that you denied rezoning to allow. It wasn't the rezoning. You were actually denying a PUD, master land use plan.
Okay.
So it was that northern piece. The piece south of that, they actually withdrew. They came through Plan Commission, but they withdrew their application before it came to council. And this piece was zoned R1A, I believe, and then he applied to have it be R2, which was approved by council a number of years ago. I mean, it was quite a while ago. And he had a preliminary plat approved for single and two-family. And if he got approved for R3, he would have to come forward with either a planned unit development or a plat which allowed for, larger lots, because that preliminary plat will not work for R3.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So he is actually applying for an amendment to the comprehensive plan, which isn't required to be referred, but will go to Plan Commission at the same time, and they'll come back to you together. So that's a full explanation, probably more than
Okay.
you wanted to know.
No, I did want to know. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Are there any additional questions on item 6C? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Moved by Lupke, second by Kelly. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? This is approved 7-0. Item 7 is ordinances, 7A.
A proposed ordinance to amend Section 13.02 of the Code of General Ordinances of the City of Beloit relating to parking in the downtown for the farmers market, and to create Sections 13.10 and 13.25 sub 4 sub BG of the Code of General Ordinances of the City of Beloit pertaining to temporary no parking regulations.
Chief Jacobs.
There's two sections to this request that we ask your affirmative vote for. The first one involves downtown parking during the farmers market, which will give us the authority during specific times of the day during the market to remove vehicles that are improperly parked there so that the vendors have full access to their areas. This, of course, is only after the area would be posted, so it's clearly visible that there is no parking by police authority in that area where there usually is parking. This would only be during the farmers market. The second section gives us the authority to post similar signs around the city when there's construction or there needs to be cleaning of the streets or other activities where we need a clear area where there generally is parking, but the sign can be posted within a reasonable time of warning, and then if there's a vehicle there that impairs the construction or activities of the workers, that vehicle can be removed.
Councilor DeForest? Sorry.
Okay.
There you are.
I agree with the ordinance changes that exist for the parking restrictions. My one reservation and concern is with only giving people 10 days to pay a ticket that they receive before it goes up, and then I guess I'm concerned because some people really do live paycheck to paycheck, and lots of people wouldn't get a new paycheck within 10 days to budget. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but for some folks that could be prohibitive. Is the reason why we decided on only giving them 10 days to pay off a parking ticket?
Well, that's consistent with the other parking tickets. Mm-hmm. That's why the time is in there.
So, and which I guess I'll say I don't like for any of the parking ticket violations. Is it a matter of consistency that we have to approve this one to be as the others, or can we begin to ordinance by ordinance as they come before us decide that 10 days is not enough time to allow someone to pay off a parking ticket?
Well, that would be a question for the court. However, I have to say, as far as enforcing laws, it's always best to be consistent. Otherwise, when you have your constituents have different rules for similar situations, you can run into problems.
So I guess I'm wondering, does it make sense, and maybe this is a question for Attorney Krieger, does it make sense for us to spot change this one, or to wait and talk about this as an issue for all parking offenses?
Currently, all of the parking tickets have that 10-day restriction. I would suggest not doing that piecemeal. Court staff and all the public are aware of the 10-day requirement. We just printed about 20,000 parking tickets or so with the 10-day requirement. So if they come in and they ask for a court date, they're given an extension of that 10 days. So I guess I would be cautious about trying to do this piecemeal.
Okay.
I can add, if it's helpful, usually we only issue about half a dozen of those tickets for downtown parking a year. Now, in the rest of the city, I'm not sure how many.
We've got alternate side parking tickets that come
those tickets,
quite
yes.
frequently.
Yes, those thousands.
Yes. So I guess I'll remove my reservation for this specific ordinance, but I would like to request that we look at this as a body, because I do think that it's burdensome for people that don't have a lot of disposable income saved to pay off a parking ticket within 10 days. Thank you.
Are there any further questions on this item? I would suggest that we'll make sure that at the appropriate time we have a broader discussion of the parking ticket issue, and we can address the specific issue tonight. Is there a motion to approve? And I guess we need a motion to suspend the rules. Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
I'll make the motion. Second.
Moved by Lupke, second by Haynes. All in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Rules are suspended 7-0. And is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Haynes, second by Kelly. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? This is approved 7-0. Item 8 is appointments. Item 8A.
The Council President Committee Board Commission appointments.
Since we have a new council member, Regina Hendricks, we do need to make some new committee appointments so that she has committee assignments, and we're going to just make a couple of adjustments. So the appointment to the Community Development Authority is currently open due to Councilor Levy's resignation, and I appoint Councilor Kincaid to that vacancy. And Councilor Kincaid will be giving up his spot on the Alcohol Beverage License Control Committee. I appoint Councilor Kelly to that vacancy. And she will be giving up her spot on the Metropolitan Planning Organization. I appoint Councilor Hendricks to that vacancy, and I will also be giving up my spot on the Visit Beloit Board, and I appoint Councilor Hendricks to that vacancy as well. So those are the 4 committee appointments for this evening. Item 9 is councilor activities and upcoming events. Councilor DeForest.
Thank you. One of the highlights of my week was attending the farmers markets. It's so impressive what a crowd we have down there. Lots of beautiful produce from our vendors and great crafts and homemade items that residents in our area have made. And I love the community cohesiveness of the feel of people visiting with each other and catching up and coming together for the farmers market. And I just want to make sure to remind folks that the farmers market does accept EBT, otherwise known as Quest card or food stamps, and you can bring your food stamps card down, stop at the Downtown Beloit Association table, and they will swipe your card for whatever amount you'd like, and they'll give you tokens that you can go shopping with for produce. So it's a great way to get access to fresh local produce. So thank you to all of the staff for the great work that they do. Crystal is just a miracle worker. We have an incredible farmers market. And thank you to Shauna for her leadership with the Downtown Beloit Association. Thank you.
Councilor Lubke.
I had the privilege of being at the annual triathlon that was held last Sunday, and the city of Beloit, the police, fire department did a great job as usual. We have a lot of people from Chicago, Milwaukee, and other areas around Beloit that come into Beloit, and this is a wonderful time to showcase Beloit. We have always gotten compliments, and the compliments were there again that Sunday as to what a beautiful city we have, what a great place for a triathlon. People are so friendly in Beloit. Matt Christitas, who's in the audience, Brian did a great job of leadership. Spencer Waite and his whole team, your whole team helped out, so congratulations. And then our very own Tony Farrell Sr., who's our greeter and bodyguard, everything else extraordinaire, was inducted into the Hall of Fame for Rock County, one of 3 people. He was in very good company with John and Mike Finnegan. But Tony was recognized for endless volunteering in Beloit, Janesville, and Rock County, just helping people with so many things in his suicide prevention program. So Tony, congratulations. We're honored to have you here, and congratulations. That's all I have, Mark.
Councilor Hendricks.
I was able to attend the Zeta Phi Beta sorority graduate chapter public reception. Zeta Phi Beta is a sorority, a Black Greek letter sorority that was founded in 1920. So there's one of 9 in the National Panhellenic Council, and they are the first African American member of that council to be chartered here in Beloit. So they were really excited to have representation from the city. It was good to see them doing something positive for the community, and I'm sure that their events will, continue to be that pinnacle, particularly for the African American community. And I was there to present an official proclamation from the city declaring that June 28th, 2014 as Zeta Day. So they were really excited about that. And then also I was able to attend the Frozen viewing for the Park and Rec's, their first event, for July. And it was so amazing. All the people out there, all the children singing along with the songs, and the community just coming together. It was a great event, so it was good to see.
Counselor Kincaid.
I have nothing to report this week.
Vice President Haynes.
I have nothing either.
Counselor Kelly.
I have nothing.
I attended the fireworks at Riverside Park, and a great show as always, and a great concert by the Rock River Philharmonic, so had a great time there. On a more somber note, I did attend the visitation for South Beloit Mayor Michael Duffy and extended the condolences of the city of Beloit to South Beloit on the loss and to his family, and also had a chance to congratulate Alice Schoonover, who has been elected the new interim mayor, and to wish her the very best and all that we can do in working to support South Beloit during this difficult time. I am this Wednesday looking forward to attending the annual Parks Tour and visiting many of Beloit's parks along with the Parks Commission and hopefully some of the rest of the council, and that's always a great event that I look forward to every year. Item 10 is the city manager's presentation, 10A.
A presentation for the Parks and Recreation programs.
Good evening, and President Spreitzer, I thank you again for the proclamation, and to remind the council that we'd like to see all of you in attendance at our Parks Tour on Wednesday. We'll be starting at 5 o'clock. If you could just RSVP to the Parks Secretary in advance, I would appreciate that, and that we will have a good count to know how many will be on the tour and what to prepare for. It's always a great event. Along with that, tonight we are presenting this PowerPoint about Parks and Recreation, particularly more so tonight about highlighting the events that we're using to highlight Parks and Recreation Month. These are all activities and events that you will not find in our Parks brochure that comes out each May. These are a supplement to that. All these programs are made available to us through a small grant that we received from the State Line Community Foundation. So we'd like to thank them for that grant and the opportunity to present these programs in the month of July. The good news is I'm not going to present tonight. Matt Christesis, no, I said that wrong again. Christesis, is that right? Christetis. I keep telling him he needs to change the spelling of his name. I just have a hard time with that. I'm sorry, Matt. But Matt has been our intern for us since the beginning of June. As Councilor Lupke had noted, he was coordinating the triathlon for us. He's also been involved in coordinating all these activities we have planned for the month of July to celebrate National Parks and Recreation Month. He's doing his internship as part of getting his degree in health, performance, and recreation from the University of Wisconsin at Whitewater. He's going to be graduating at the completion of his internship, which, as I think back, it was 30 years ago this year that I graduated as well, and I hate to admit I was as thin as him at one point in time. So Parks and Recreation can keep you busy, but if you don't do enough, you can kind of put on the pounds too. So with that said, I encourage everybody to get out and enjoy the programs that Matt's going to present for us tonight. Matt, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Ramsey. And Council Lupke and Council Hendricks, thank you for those kind words with our programs that we have offered. So this year, Parks and Rec Month the slogan is out is in. So we wanted to come up with some events for the community to be involved in, to get them out and involved in some of the parks that we have to offer. So our first event that we hosted was Frozen that Council Hendricks attended. And for this event, we had hundreds of area residents attending the event. And like she said, a lot of singing along with the music, very popular. So we did a good choice on finding a good movie to show. Our next event is Family Swim this Thursday. This event is free, along with all of our events that we are hosting throughout July. We also wanted to incorporate free events for the community. We want them free so that they can get out and see what we have to offer and try to get them more involved. So we have our free family swim this Thursday. The time is 6:30 to 8. And just a reminder for those that are under the age of 18, they must be accompanied by an adult during family swim. And another event, Thursday, July 17th, is a bike tour. We wanted to kind of showcase around the riverside. A lot of people bike around there as well. So we're going to try to get a mini bike tour along the Steve Gregg Memorial Path. And afterwards, we're going to try to host a ice cream social for those that have attended the bike path. And also, we're going to look at some discounted paddle boats so that the participants can also enjoy that as well and get an experience with the paddle boats, because some residents are not aware of the offering for paddle boats. So we just want to get them involved with that as well. So we will be meeting at 6:15 at the Rotary River Center to start our adventure for the bike path. Bring your helmets, bring your bikes. Children and adults of all ages can come on and join us. And then Thursday, July 24, we're going to host a family game night outside of Kruger Pool, where we have the big grassy area. We're going to start that at about 6 o'clock. We want to try to incorporate some yard games for the families to learn about. Some games we're going to include are Cube, which we have a Cube tournament coming up next month, so we want to introduce that as well. We're going to have bag toss, where the pool as well has a new bag toss game inside the facility, so then those that aren't familiar with the game, they can also play that when they attend the pool. And we're going to look at mini putt inside the Kruger Haskell Golf Course, so they can see that facility as well. And we're going to look into ladder golf so that they can play that game. And then we're going to do a 2-for-1 admission into family swim for the participants who come out and enjoy themselves at the family fun night. And our last event on Thursday, July 31st is Pickleball 101. I haven't really heard of pickleball until joining the Parks and Rec team. It's a fast and growing popularity sport. It's coming up pretty quick, and I actually just participated in the 4th of July pickleball tournament, and that really opened my eyes as to how much fun that can be. All ages. As you see, these are 2 photos from the actual tournament. All ages can play. You see there's a young guy in that photo, and there's also some older gentlemen in there. That event, as I said, Thursday, July 31st, we'll host at 6 p.m. It's Pickleball 101, so we'll be introducing the basics and the fundamentals to the game to just introduce to them, as Kruger tennis courts have just been restriped, and the tennis lines, and they've also been striped with pickleball lines. So that's beneficial to the pickleball players, and hopefully will spark more interest in the pickleball game. And some information about Kruger Pool, as we still have a lot more summertime, and the pool is still open until late August. We're open Monday through Friday, noon to 5:30 for open swim, and then again 6:30 to 8 for family swim, Monday through Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday we have weekend hours, just noon to 6. And then there can also be private pool rentals, birthday party rentals. We have $2 Mondays where everybody can get into the pool at $2. And then on Fridays, everyone can get into the pool for $2 if they bring a brand new school supply. And then we have our Riverside rentals at the lagoon. They're open Monday through Sunday from 11 to 8, weather permitting. And there we have paddle boats, kayaks, tandem bikes, fishing poles, and also a concession stand to re-energize yourself from long hydration. And some upcoming tournaments that the community can get involved with, some tournaments that we have left. We have disc golf tournaments that we hold monthly at Hilliard. We have the Coupe tournament coming up, as I stated earlier. We have grass volleyball tournament, men's softball tournament, wiffle ball league, kickball league, and an under 500 softball league. And these are the programs that we have for adults, and so we encourage all of you to grab a team and come on down to the Leisure Services and get involved in these programs. You can stop by at 1003 Pleasant Street, or you can call us at 364-2890 if you have any questions. And that is the end of our presentation.
Thank you for the presentation. Are there any counselor questions for our Parks and Recreation team? Counselor Lupke.
I was worried when Regina and you and Brian brought up the movie Frozen. I was just hoping you wouldn't sing that song and let it go. So thank you very much for not singing. Thanks a lot, Matt. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 11 is reports from boards and city officers. 11A.
A resolution adopting Equal Opportunities Commission, EOC, rules of procedure.
Ms. Christensen.
The EOC and city staff prepared the analysis of impediments to fair housing report required by HUD, which identified inconsistent administration of the Fair Housing Code as an impediment to fair housing choice due to staff and commission turnover and frequent transfer of EOC responsibility to different departments. These rules of procedure, which are before you tonight for action, provide detailed requirements for how staff and the EOC will handle complaints, issue notices, conduct mediation and conciliation, conduct hearings, handle the submittal of evidence, and other procedures that will facilitate the consistent administration and enforcement of the Fair Housing Code. On June 18th, 2014, the EOC unanimously approved the attached rules of procedure. So it's on your agenda tonight. For action, the City Council is required to actually approve the rules of procedure along with the EOC. And you have Matt, who participated in some of the development of the rules of procedure, and Johansson, who is currently on EOC, who were part of that process. But the majority of the work from the city staff perspective, all of the work from the city staff perspective was done by Terry Downing and Beth Krieger.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Ms. Christensen? If not, is there a motion to approve? Moved by Lupke, second by DeForest. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? This is approved 7-0. Item 12 is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Hendrick, second by Kelly. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? We're adjourned at 7:38. Surprised Charles wasn't leading the singing on that one.
You know, it's okay. I can do that, but it's really not, you know.
Do you know the words?
Yeah. I've only seen it 43 times.
Which one?
Just 43?
Which one?
It's Frozen.
I thought you were like 28. Are you seriously at 23?
21 times at the theater.
You saw it
21 times at the theater.
No, you did not. Come on.
No, I'm not joking.
He's not.
Yeah,
You did not.
she didn't come with me to the theater.
What?
She's been at the theater twice. I went to see it 19 times without her.
What?
And but she's watched it a lot more
kidding,
times
right?
than I.
No,
I'm not
kidding
joking at all.
Yeah.
I've seen it a few times because the kids have watched it, you know.